guys, I hope you had a wonderful holiday break and you're ready to jump back into term 3. You're ready to learn, to get some knowledge, as Nemo would say. I love that movie, Finding Nemo. It's one of my favorites. Anyway, you're probably wondering what the heck I'm talking about. If you haven't seen that movie, you are crazy. Alright, so today we're looking at fractions and percentages to start with in term 3. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to go from a percentage to a fraction. Okay, and when I say go from, I mean the word convert or change these percentages to fractions. Or they might also become mixed numbers, which is technically still a fraction. But in this question, it's asked you for simplest form. Okay, so we'll go through all these steps all together. So when we're talking about percentages, of course, we mean out of 100. Out of 100. Okay, and that's the way you should think about a percentage. It's a fraction over 100 instead of a fraction perhaps over a different number, a different value. Okay, so all I need to do to begin with is to place my percentage number over 100 and then see what else I can do. Okay, so 17% or 17 out of 100 is the same as 17 over 100. And this question has asked us to write our fractions in their simplest form. And 17 is a prime number, so I can't actually use any number to divide 17 and 100 to make it any smaller. So 17 over 100 is our answer. So whenever you come across a percentage that is a prime number, all you need to do is to place it over 100 if that's what it's asking you to do to convert it to a fraction. Okay, so let's look at 36%. Now you would be recognizing that 36 is not a prime number, it's a composite number. So we're going to start with the same way, 36 over 100, and then you should be thinking to yourself, alright, I've got to make this into a simplest form. So what's my highest common factor? The biggest number that will divide it into 36 and 100. So I'm going to write HCF there, highest common factor. And for this question, it is 4. Okay? Let's say I could only think of the number 2 instead. Then I would still be able to eventually get to my answer, as long as I kept recognizing that I could still divide it. But because you're super clever, you have recognized that it is 4. And so I know when I'm simplifying my fractions, I have to divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Okay, so 36 divided by 4 is 9. 100 divided by 4 is, oops, I nearly wrote 24 then, 25. And that's our simplest form. I always just do a little double check. Can I divide anything into 9 and 25? No, I can't. Okay, so simplest form. Okay, now this number's a little bit different, and in the question you might have picked up the clue. It said fractions or mixed numbers. Now we know that a mixed number is when you have an improper fraction, so a number on the top, the numerator, is larger than the denominator. And that means that it's greater than 1 whole. And 1 whole, when we're talking about percentages, 1 whole, the whole thing, that's 100%. So 140, of course, is greater than 1 whole. So that's going to be a mixed number in our answer. But we're still going to start it the same way by placing our percentage number over the number 100. Okay, so now I'm going to think about turning this to a mixed number. But it's pretty big. 140 and 100 are large numbers to work with. And so from here you could do a couple of different things, but I'm just going to show you what I would do. Okay? Now straight away I'm going to recognize that if I was to divide by 10, I'm immediately going to make this number really small, or smaller I should say. Okay? So I'm going to divide by 10, and the cheats way is to cross off a 0 on the top and the bottom. And so that's going to give me 14 over 10. Now you're recognizing again, I can make that smaller, and I need to make it a mixed number. So I could still cancel my numerator and my denominator here to make it smaller still, but I could go straight to the mixed number and sort out any of that garbage later. So let's do it that way. I think that's a bit faster. So how many times does 10 go into 14? It goes in one whole time, and then I have, and that makes 10, so then I have 4 left over my denominator of 10. And now I always try to simplify every part, so I know that 4 over 10 can get a little bit smaller by dividing by 2. And so my final answer is 1 and 2 over 5. Okay, so I've changed my 140% into 1 and 2/5. Okay, and that's my final answer. Alright, you could have simplified differently here. Okay, made it a little bit more simpler earlier, but this is a perfectly fine way to go about that. Okay, so now I've got a couple for you to try. Where can I do these? Down here. Okay, so I'm going to write 3 questions for you to do. Let's call this one D. E is going to be this one, and F is going to be this one. Okay, cool. So pause the video now and have a go yourself. Whilst you're having a go, I'm going to just record my answers and go through them with you in a sec. Good luck. Oh, now guess what I've just done? I've just written a question that we just did in 36%. Change that to 39%. Silly Mrs. Beecham. Oh, and look at that, I've just kept recording as I went through my work. Geez, this video is just A quality, isn't it? I meant to pause that. Anyway, now that you've seen my working, 39 is a prime number, so I can't make 39 over 100 any smaller by dividing, so that's my final answer. Then I've got 42 over 100, so same step, placing it over 100. Simplifying it by dividing by 2, that's our highest common factor, 2 and 2, so 21 over 50. And then here I've got 220 over 100. Okay, then I've just divided by 10 to make it a lot smaller, which gives me 22 over 10. And then that gives me, 10 goes into 22 2 times, and 2 over 10, which equals 2 and 1/5. Good job, hope you did well.